it's your pal D-Vac. In this episode, we're going to talk about makeup. Don't worry though, this isn't more of the Girl Games LP. We're going to talk about real makeup and how to go about trying makeup for the first time. But first, what is makeup anyway? Well, the makeup you'll find in a store today is a combination of an emulsifier, something liquidy, a powder, something dusty, pigment, and various other dirt-type ingredients. Depending on the purpose and the design of the makeup, for example, some makeup is oil-free, it can have different combinations or types of these basic ingredients. So that's what you're putting on your face, just so you know. Some ingredients, like oils, can irritate people's skin, and they need to use alternatives. If this happens to you, it's not weird. There are plenty of alternatives out there, and this video is just a general overview of how to use different types of makeup, regardless of their ingredients. So with that, let's look at your first shopping list for the first time you want to go out and buy makeup. Buying makeup can be hard and confusing. For your very first time, I recommend getting subset of this list: concealer, foundation, eyeliner, eye color, mascara, blush, and lip color. You don't have to get all of it, especially blush. That is probably the most optional here, but we'll get to that. And you don't have to use all of it exactly the way I say. I'm going to explain all of these though so that you have all the information to decide which kinds of makeup you're comfortable with or interested in wearing. So let's go through them one at a time. Here's a face. Well, this is a face, a light-skinned face. I'm going to try to make this as skin color agnostic as possible with some extra notes to ensure I address darker skin tones, but for this video, this is our example face. The first thing you're going to apply is concealer. It goes on like this. Concealer is a thick makeup used to cover skin imperfections such as dark circles under your eyes, acne, or anything else you want to cover up. Concealer is generally lighter than your natural skin tone. Not everybody needs to use concealer, especially young people, like preteens, because their skin is already smooth and cute. Concealer will make you look more made up than not using it. If you want to look like a makeup ad, then you want to use concealer. It can also help you feel more confident about parts of your skin you aren't comfortable with, like acne or discoloration. Now in my little icon here, I drew concealer as a little pot, but concealer can come in many forms. Here's what concealer looks like in real life. It can come in a little pot or more liquidy with a brush or in a stick. When you go to the store, you'll probably see all these forms of concealer, and they're all concealer, and they're all used for the same thing. Generally, the only difference is personal preference, what feels nice to you, but it can also be based on the ingredients. If you want your makeup to feel more like putting on sunscreen, then I suggest a liquid concealer or a liquid foundation. If you don't know what to buy, then just start with a little pot of concealer. Just rub it on with your finger. That's right, your finger! You don't need a makeup brush unless you want one. Makeup artists use a bunch of brushes primarily because they're doing makeup for other people and have to stay sanitary because they're dealing with eyes a lot of the time. But for all the makeup in this video, it's your makeup, and you'll use one of three ways to apply it: with a brush, with your finger, or with the thing that comes with the package, which is usually just a little brush or a pad. These are plenty fine to start out with. Okay, so now we've applied our concealer. Next is foundation. Foundation goes on like this. Hey, what do you know? Foundation is a powder or a liquid that you apply all over your face to smooth it out. Generally, you want to choose foundation that is as close to your natural skin tone as possible. You apply foundation by rubbing it all over your face, usually with the brush or pad that comes with the package. Most foundation comes in a compact, which is a little folding clamshell with a mirror and a pad inside. Foundation can look like other things too, though. Your standard foundation is pressed powder, which is what you think of when you think of a compact or just foundation in general. You can also get loose powder, which is what it sounds like, or liquid foundation. Generally, liquid foundation does not require concealer. For starters, I recommend pressed powder because it doesn't take as much of a mess. It doesn't make as much of a mess as loose powder can. It doesn't take as much coordination and effort. Loose powder is cool though, if you're interested in that later. Liquid foundation is a good option if you don't want to like feel like you're wearing that much makeup yet. It feels sportier, like you're just touching up instead of going out for a night on the town. As you get used to foundation, you can always branch out and try new things. There are a lot of different products out there, and if something sounds appealing to you, then give it a shot. Now that we're all smoothed out, it's time to apply eyeliner. You know where eyeliner goes. It goes on your eyes. Let's take a look. Here's our eye zoomed in. When applying eyeliner, you want to start from the inside edge and go out. Apply eyeliner to the top or both edges of your eye, depending on what look you want. You want it just above and even in your eyelashes. Don't try to get the liner on the inside of your eye, where it is touching the white of your eye. This is called the waterline, and that's putting makeup in your eyes. You don't want makeup in your eyes. If that means that you end up with like a little line of skin between like the liner and the whites of your eyes, that's okay. It actually looks fine, and it will probably smudge down later anyway. As you go about your day, makeup will settle into your pores and generally smudge around a bit on your face. This is normal. Eyeliner comes in pencils, sticks, and liquids. The pencil is traditional but uncomfortable to use in my opinion, and you have to sharpen it like a real pencil. So I suggest getting a pen-like stick as shown on the bottom here. Only after you've mastered the stick do I suggest trying liquid eyeliner, which comes with a brush similar to nail polish. Using a brush is much harder than using a pencil, but it also lets you do that like swoop thing real easy. Also, generally liquid eyeliner just like stays on all day. It's like putting acrylic paint on your face. It's easy to take off, but it will like stay on as a unit all day. And you can also get that swoop with a pencil, so it's really up to you in a matter of dexterity and personal preference. And here we are zoomed out again. Now, you might also be thinking, wow, putting that stick so close to my eye, that looks kind of scary. My advice is to take it slow. You will definitely have to practice before you can get good enough to put on eyeliner in like one swooping motion. And if you mess up, you can always just wipe it off, start over. You don't have to use eyeliner if you're not comfortable with it. It's all up to you. That's the magic of makeup. The next one is more fun though. Eyeshadow. Eyeshadow is the most fun and colorful part of makeup. You can do all kinds of beautiful things. For a first try, I'm going to go over the most basic eyeshadow techniques though that you'll find just in the makeup aisle. The good thing about a lot of eyeshadow palettes these days is that they'll tell you how to use them. Eyeshadow can come in just one color or a range of colors, but a lot of them now are shaped like an eye, so you know exactly where to apply each color. The Intense Eye Color palette is like this, and this is actually one that I own, so let's zoom in and apply it. There are generally 3 zones that such a palette will tell you about: the eyelid, above the eye, and along the underside of the eyebrow. You apply it with the brush that comes with the palette in a sweeping motion from the inside outward. You can also use your finger for application or blending once you get it on. This kind of setup here is generally seen as heavy eye makeup, both because of the amount used and the color. This is probably better for a nighttime look. For the daytime, or if you just want your makeup to look lighter, then you might want something like this, where you just put a little bit of color in just one part of your eye, just one of those zones. So we've got a darker color on the top part of the eyelids and a little bit above that. And this is generally seen as less eye makeup, and also this is a skin tone kind of color, which is generally seen as more casual. For dark skin tones, the same thing applies, but the color can also be something lighter than your natural skin tone, like gold. Less dramatic eye makeup will generally be a color that isn't that far off in hue or saturation from your natural skin color. Next is mascara. Mascara goes on your eyelashes, like this. It emphasizes your eyelashes and makes them longer. You can brush it on just your top lashes or on both your top and bottom lashes. Mascara looks basically the same everywhere. There can be some difference in bottles, but it's always the same stick with a brush at the end. Mascara usually comes in black or brown, but there are other colors as well. There are weird colors, which are fun. In general, you want something that's the same color or darker than your natural eyelashes. I also suggest starting with mascara that is not waterproof, as that will be harder to take off. Applying mascara can be hard at first. You want to kind of like brush up your lashes and kind of blink at the same time. You've probably seen this in movies and videos. You can see videos of it, you know what I mean. You can also put on a lot more mascara than you might initially think. Some people keep going with mascara until it looks like little tarantula legs, and that's like a thing you can do, so you can't really go wrong with how much mascara you put on. Now we're finally done with eyes. Yeah, hey, look at that, it's done. Your eyes are all finished. You did it. Next is blush. Blush goes on your cheeks, like this. Did you catch that? No blush, blush. No blush, blush. Yeah, it's not that much. Blush is really the most optional out of a list of optional makeups, but here's an explanation in case you are interested in using it. Blush goes on the apples of your cheeks, which are the parts below your eyes that kind of stick out when you smile, or just along your cheekbones. Blush usually comes in a powder, but it can also come in a cream or a liquid. It's all applied the same way. Rub it on your cheeks with a finger or a brush. You don't need to add a lot of blush to get an effect. Just add a tiny, tiny bit at a time until you notice a slight color change in your cheeks and you're good. There, blush is easy. Our last makeup is a little more complicated. Lip color. Lip color goes on your lips, obviously. I say lip color because there are a lot of things to put on your lips: lipstick, lip gloss, lip dye, lip liner, and many other things that makeup brands give a special name but are basically somewhere in those previous categories. Lip color has by far the largest variety out of any other type of makeup since it's easy to put on and relatively accessible to try. Lipstick and lip gloss look like this. We all know what lipstick looks like. Lip gloss can come in a tube with a little brush or something more like chapstick. There are also kinds of lip color that have two phases, like in the top there, like this 24-hour color, where you first put on a color and then put on another layer on top of that to protect it all day. Lip color that doesn't specifically brand itself as all day or 24-hour will likely wear off throughout the day, especially when you eat. But generally, even if it does say it's long-lasting or lasts all day, it will come off when you eat. There aren't that many rules to lip color, but in general, if you have dark eye makeup, then you want a light lip color, like a gloss. And if you want to use a bold lip color, then you use less or more natural colored eye makeup. These aren't that hard. These aren't hard and fast rules, but this is a good starting point to jump off of when developing your personal style. Some other lip color items are lip dyes and lip liner. If you want a color that will definitely last all day for sure, then try lip dye. It's something you apply in the morning that's, well, literal dye, so it will color your lips for at least a whole day. It'll be like less intense probably than like a lipstick or something, and it will also dye your fingers. The other thing here is lip liner, which comes in a pencil or a stick like eyeliner. Lip liner is used to define the edges of your lips and increase the contrast with your surrounding skin. If your lips are very similar in color to your skin, or if you just want your lips to look more defined, I know that's really vague, defined, then you might try lip liner. And with that, we are all done with lip color, and that's all the makeup. Ta-da! You've now got a totally made-up face. We did it! Oh, but one last thing. Make sure you also get some makeup remover. Most makeup can be wiped off with a wet washcloth, but it's easier all around if you get some makeup remover. It comes in a bottle or in wipes and is especially helpful for cleaning your eye makeup. You can apply eye makeup remover to a tissue, cotton round, or Q-tip and use it to wipe makeup off your face. I usually put some on a cotton round and use it to wipe my eye makeup off before I wipe off the rest of my makeup with a wet washcloth. So after a lovely day of beauty, remember to take off all your makeup before you go to sleep. And now it's all off again so we can put it all back on again tomorrow. Ha ha ha, forever!